Nah, that's weird. Yeah. Welcome to the 15th Floor, a Radiohead reaction podcast where a Gen X Radiohead fan father tries to convince his Gen Z son that Radiohead is the greatest band of all time as we react to Radiohead songs one by one. Let's get it out of the way right off the bat. What the heck am I wearing? This is the very shirt that I wore at my first Radiohead concert at the DV8 in Seattle. I posted that, or I had that ticket up before. I'm going to put it up again just so you can see my ticket. Yes, I still have the shirt. Yes, it is fake plush velvet thingy. It's polyester. It is very hot, and I wore it the entire concert. Why do I still have it? Because you don't get rid of something this gorgeous, baby. That's the thing. You don't get rid of something like this. You keep it in a box, and you bring it out. I think I've brought it out twice in the past 30 years. Once at my 40th birthday party when I was showing everybody my sweet sweater. And then now, here it is. This thing has been to a Radiohead concert, man. And anyone who knew me from high school or anyone who's known me for years is looking at that and like, oh my gosh, he still has that sweater. Of course I still have this sweater because it's awesome. What do you think? Touch it, touch it. What do you have that feels that nice?
A lot of things.
Oh, no. You have nothing that feels this nice.
I have this blanket that feels really nice.
So today we are doing Just from the 1995 album The Bends. Now, I've got to say, the reason why I'm wearing the sweater why I'm going back to the concert is because I went and saw Radiohead the first time when they were touring for The Bends. I was introduced to Radiohead for The Bends. I was with my friend one day, and I'm just going to tell a quick story. And he said, let's go to the music store. I want to buy the album that Creep is on. And I had heard the song Creep. I couldn't have told you it was by Radiohead. I just knew the song Creep. And I thought, you're nuts. You're going to spend $15 on a CD just because you like one song on it. He's like, yep. So we went to the store. We went to the section. He found Radiohead. They didn't have Pablo Honey, which is what Creep is on. They only had the new release, The Bends. And he's like, I'm buying it. And like, you're really nuts. This isn't even the album you want. This doesn't even have the song you want. He's like, I think it's going to be fine. So we took it home. We put it on in the basement, started playing some pool, and that was we did that for several days straight and just absorbed this album. And Just is the first song. It's track number 7 on The Bends, and it just stuck out to me as this first time I heard Just. I'd already heard so many good songs, but now suddenly I was like, you know what? This band is special. This band is awesome. And so Just has always been special to me. Oh my gosh, this is hot. I went to a concert in this thing. We should make more of these and sell them. Yeah. Oh, whoo. Because you want them. You're looking at it, you want it, right? And because I told that story, I got a shout out to my homeboy from my youth, the guy that introduced me to Radiohead. He found this channel. I actually haven't talked to him in a number of years. We just don't connect very much. But he found this channel. He made some comments on this channel. So shout out to that guy. If it weren't for him, I would never have discovered Radiohead. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't have discovered half the music I love. He was my best friend growing up, and I'm glad he's found this channel, and I hope he keeps watching, and I hope we get a chance to talk soon. I really did want to get further down to something more recent in the Radiohead library, especially since people have been requesting specific songs, and I think those are great songs. We got to get to them. But Just was the highest requested song of all the songs, and it just felt like a good time to do it. Shout out to Ultraviolet 8, long-time subscriber, one of our earliest subscribers, Melchior Aksak. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. I appreciate that guy. He's been commenting the whole time. Yep. I hope he's a he. Sorry about that. Shout out to Eamon Moore and East CHCH Kia. I don't know what that means, but I hope you're watching, and I hope you're excited to do Just. Gen Z, what do you know about Just?
I think looking at these lyrics, I think I've heard it a couple times, but I don't. I remember when he says 15th floor, just because we're the 15th floor.
Boom.
We're on the 15th floor.
This song is our podcast namesake,
and the beginning is kind of familiar.
So, let's not mess around anymore. Let's just start Just.
That was a good one. intro. It's short. I don't have anything to say about it. It's like it's a good setup.
Good
for
setup.
The setup. Yeah, there you
Yep.
go. It's a good setup for the song.
It is a good setup. I'll say it right now, just because you hear it right off the bat. Tom York has said that this song was basically a challenge between Tom York and Johnny Greenwood to see how many chords they could put in a song. So they're all over the place. Those are bar chords, and they just go up the neck and get higher and higher, and they go all over the place. It's a lot of bar chords, and it's a lot of 16th or 32nd notes. I mean, they're rapid fire.
Can't get the stink out. He's been hanging around for days. And he'll get to you and teach you how to be a holy cow. You do it to yourself, you do.
Yeah, as I hear this song more, I'm like kind of remembering it, but there's still a lot of parts I don't really remember. But that verse was good. I don't have anything to say about it. It's just not bad.
Yeah. I have to say that although you don't know most Radiohead songs, we are going to run into a few that whether you know it or not, you've heard.
Yeah.
And you might be like, oh, I've heard that song. I don't think you could grow up in my house or drive in my car and not remember that at some point you might have heard Just. Although we don't listen to my music in the car, to be fair. We've got lots of kids, and we are usually watching Disney cartoons or something like that in the car. So my music is not, you're not really inundated with my music, but you've probably heard Just. That first line, can't get the stink off. My mother, until the time I left the house at 19, used to cut my hair. We didn't have enough money to go get real haircuts, so my mom would cut my hair. And so I just put on the music that I wanted to put on while she cut my hair, because she wasn't professional. She took like a half an hour to cut my hair. It was a miserable time. And I remember playing this song. I was playing the Bends, and this song came up, and I remember the first line, "Can't get the stink off." My mom said, she's cutting my hair, and she just stops. Nice. No approval from my mother.
You do it to yourself, just you. You and no one else. You do it to yourself. You do it to yourself.
I find myself singing this song every once in a while. I remember that chorus.
Yeah.
I haven't heard it as much as Creep, but I definitely heard the song more than a couple times.
Yeah. And when you do something that is your own fault, it's hard not to sing. You do it to yourself.
Yeah. But I like when he says yourself. I think he sings that to perfection.
Good.
Not perfection, but he sings it really well.
Perfection.
Hanging at the 15th floor.
That's our channel. You just said it. 15th
Yes,
floor. That's the
true.
channel.
Yes. Yep. Secrets out.
Yeah.
Change like 3 times. I still come reeling through the door. Teach you how to get to pure rest. Hell, you do it to yourself, you do. And that's why Radiohead says you do it to yourself, just you. Do it to yourself.
Just a quick little mention. I like it. They just did the classic guitar solo, and there's nothing wrong with the classic guitar solo. That they just, I don't know what they do. They just play a bunch of notes, different notes really fast, and I kind of like that type of solo.
Yeah, that's them still going crazy on the bar chords, and then it's Johnny Greenwood playing that little bit of a solo. Johnny Greenwood, you really, if you want a treat, go watch several live versions of Just. It doesn't change that much, because this, unlike later Radiohead, is just strict 5-piece music. It's 3 guitarists, a bassist, and a drummer, and there's no tricks. And the bass line, though, when you pick it out, it's a really good bass line in this. But if you watch a live performance of Just, Johnny Greenwood does some really fun things with that solo. So once you become familiar with that solo and you listen to the variations on that solo, it becomes really, really awesome, because he never messes that up, but he does different versions of it. And it really tells you, as people have pointed out in comments before, this is a great live band. They're very good live. And Johnny Greenwood never disappoints with his solos.
As the man who has to sit 2 feet away from the speaker, I can say that hurts my ears.
No, come on.
It's just too...
Old man ears.
I got old man everything. I got my back, I got my ears, everything about me is old.
Do you think that's maybe why I can't hear people? Do you think maybe I went to too many concerts where they did that high pitch? I mean, that's a possibility.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm the only one that when that song finishes abruptly, you are ready to just start listening to My Iron Lung. This is track number 7. My Iron Lung is track number 8. That's what's next. You know how it is. Like I said, it's a pretty basic rock song.
Yeah. I like the third chorus. The third time they do the chorus, they make it more energetic, which is how when you do the simple verse, chorus, and then sometimes either what they did, a guitar solo or a special verse, and then a chorus. You want that third chorus to be energetic, and they did that, which is perfectly fine.
In a time in the 90s when people wanted to mosh to something, regardless of what concert you went, I went to a live concert where people moshed to Lightning Crashes. So people wanted to mosh, and this might have been one of your better chances to do that at a Radiohead concert. It shows Radiohead's place where they're at in their own evolution. It is better and better constructed, better guitar parts, better vocals, and a stronger performance than, say, Vegetable from Pablo Honey. And it's not quite as ready to go or as far along in the evolution as, say, Electioneering on OK Computer. But all of them are in the same family of songs, and this is one of their best radio ready songs. It was a single released from the album, but again, by the time it was released as a single, I was already headlong into Radiohead. And there had been other singles already before this. My Iron Lung, Fake Plastic Trees was before this. But by that time, it didn't matter. I was already locked in. This song stood out to me right off the bat. Again, I knew, okay, this is my new favorite band. Score.
I'll give it... It is what, like, when you play in the rare occasions where you play in the car, I've never really paid attention to it, but it's in my head. And I never really thought it was interesting, but listening to it here, I thought it was a little bit more interesting. And it was short, so I'll give it a 7.
7, okay, yeah, yeah. It's really a '90s radio friendly song. There's nothing to say about listen to the amazing thing they do here or here or here. It is amazing. It is well put together. I do love all the chords. The amount of guitar, the wall of guitar is just great in this song. And considering they don't do it like that anymore, it's great. And it's perfect post-grunge, take us out of the darkness, the great darkness that was the grunge of the early 90s. It is a timepiece. It sits perfectly in the mid-90s. But I still love it today. I love it every time I hear it. It never gets old. So let's look at artwork for the girl. She just has the words toxic love and a heart with the same colors. She did a good job. She basically picked apart what she heard in the lyrics, and that this was about to her somebody who was hurting themselves in their relationships and digging in deeper. And I will have to say, without any joking, that is pretty much nailing it. And then for the boy, he took the first line of the song and ran with it. Can't get the stink off. That's 3 people, and one of them says, "Oh," and the guy in the middle says, "I tooted." And the guy on the far right is sweeping. I told him, we're not putting "I tooted" on a highbrow podcast like the 15th Floor. And then but then I made the connection. Oh, can't get the stink off. Yeah, the meaning of the song. This is one where people talk a lot about narcissistic behavior or mental self-harm, not physical self-harm. But I've always thought it's pretty cut and dry. It's about people who are in toxic relationships and complain about their toxic relationships, and then what do? They go back to those toxic relationships. and then they complain about it some more. And after a while, you just kind of think, I love you, but I don't care anymore. Because guess what? You do it to yourself, and that's what really hurts.
Yep.
No mystery message there, is there?
No, pretty straightforward.
Yeah, pretty straightforward. When you give it a 7, I consider, just so you know, and I know it's your scale, but I consider 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s contributing to my hypothesis. Especially since most of these songs you were listening for the first time. I get it that this one wasn't exactly that way, but it's the first time you sat down and listened to it. I consider a 7 and above contributes to my hypothesis. So, nailed it. Keep suggesting songs that you want us to hear us do. I have to say we're coming up with a way that we're going to address all of those, or as many of them as we can. I appreciate that some people are very specific. Do this song by this band. I did think we were going to get a little bit more radio popular song. Maybe that's what you're suggesting, I guess. I don't know. I just don't recognize any of the names outside maybe a couple. So suggest Muse songs. That's perfectly fine.
Well, that's amusing.
Oh, boy. you leave the puns to the dad. Yeah, you take clever jokes. I'll take the easy low balls.
Well, you didn't say it, so I had to say
That's
it.
true. That's true. Again, thank you so much for your comments, likes, subscribes. We are getting more subscribers. We're getting more views, and all of it is very much appreciated and just makes us want to keep coming back and doing more, and we'll just keep it going because it's so much fun. You're now leaving
The 15th floor.